could stand before her and say, God is good. All the time. 1998, that was the year that my son came home. After he was out for how many hours? He came home, wet like a duck. And I looked up at him, I was like, what is going on? And he was like, Mom, I don't even know who I am. I was like, what? How you mean you don't know who you are? You are my son. He said, no, Mom. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. At that point, I was like, oh, this guy is on drugs. Because with my former nursing skills, right away I could have detected that something was wrong. That's not my son. Anyway, I stayed very calm. And I said, well, I'll have to take you to the hospital. He said, okay, Mom. Take him to the hospital. Yes, indeed, he was on drugs. Yes, indeed, they laced the marijuana, some PCP, and he was all out of his mind. That was the day everything went downhill for my son. 1998, I'll never forget that day. And I keep on praying. I keep on believing. I keep on trusting God because I know my God is a deliverer. It took years and years and years and years. I have seen every mental institute in New Jersey. I have seen the jail. Even in the jailhouse, they had arrested my son because he was hallucinating after all that PCP, went into the mall, picked up a ring, thinking that he had some girlfriend. He didn't have no girlfriend. He was just out of his mind. The cops came, pick him up, take him into the jail, and had him in the jailhouse for like 5 years. He's supposed to be facing 5 years imprisonment. And I'm like, Lord, you know my son, if he was in his right mind, he wouldn't do a thing like that. Have mercy on him. So mother again, mothers. Thank God for mothers. And a praying mother who knows how to go to God, who knows how to call on God. I pray day and night for my son. And 1 week in jail, they say, you know, your son is facing 5 years. I say, okay. That's true, because he did something wrong. But my God, he is in charge. He is in control. Yes. I had to see a lawyer. I'll never forget that. That Friday, the lawyer says she wants $5,000 to start the case for my son. And I'm like, okay, well, it's my son. I don't want him to face 5 years in jail. So I don't have to wreck the money wherever it is to go pay the lawyer. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I get up early every morning and pray. And that Friday, I had to meet the lawyer at 2:30 in the afternoon. 6 o'clock in the morning exactly when I was getting up to pray. Here goes the phone. And it was my son on the other side. Mom, I'm home. At that time, he lives in his own apartment. I say, how you mean you're at home? Now, I'm thinking like the people in the upper room praying for Stephen to get out of jail.
Peter.
Okay, and I'm like, Peter to get out of jail. And I'm like, wait a minute. He couldn't be out of jail. How could he be out of jail? He's, you know, I just have to wait today, go and talk to the lawyer. And it's impossible for the judge to release him. So he said, Mom, yes, I'm at home. So I said, okay, Jean, let me hang up. And I say, well, let me call you back to make sure he's at home. So I hung up the phone, called him back. Sure indeed, he was at home. I said, how did you get home, Jean? He said, the judge called me in her chambers 10 o'clock in the night and said she doesn't know why I have you in here. You don't belong in here. Go home. Go home. That day I called the lawyer. And I said, lawyer, you know something? My son is at home. She said, no, that's impossible. Your son can never be at home. I said, yes, he's at home because God set him free. God set him free. He's at home. She said, well, if you believe he's at home. I said, no, I don't believe he's home. I called him. I spoke to him and he's at home. They set him free. The judge didn't even know what to do. The judge said, I don't know why I have you in here. You don't belong here. Go home. He came home. He came home and he went back in his same old ways. That's the thing with us people. We never learn our lesson. We never really see the goodness of God. We always allow the devil to tempt us with with the things out there in the world. But I'm telling you tonight, there is nothing out in the world there. Everything you need is in Christ. So for years and years, from 1998, I have cried and pleaded and asked God to deliver my son. And sometimes it gets worse. He acts up even worse. More I pray, more he's getting worse. But I never gave up hope in God. I never gave up hope in my God that I serve. I know him personally. I have a relationship with him because I know how good he is. So, 1998, years and years have gone by. Boy, I'm looking at my son. I'm continuing the ministry. I'm continuing. I say, devil, you are a liar. You are not going to stop me from what God called me to do. Leave my son out there. When he's ready, he'll come. So for all those years, I watched my son will go downhill and downhill and downhill and downhill. And I'm like, God, I'm not going to give up on him. I will love him unconditionally. So my love was so great that I could never turn my back on him because I know that the God I serve, he's a deliverer. He is a deliverer. And he's ready to deliver some people here tonight. This is the twisting tongue that I have because the Holy Spirit is ready to deliver some people tonight. Some people who have been on drugs. Some people who are alcoholics. This is what Christ came to do when he went on the cross. With John 3:16, he said that he loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And there is an everlasting life in Christ. So going back to my son, for years and years I keep praying and believing. And I just believe in my heart that one day God will deliver my son. And it's 4 years now. 4 years ago, I came home. I was upstate New York and came home. They called me and said, your son is in the hospital. Go look for him. So when I get into the emergency room and I looked at him, he looked like he was so possessed with demonic spirit right there. I was like, oh no, that couldn't be my son. He looked up and said, Mom, oh, you here? You come to take me home? I said, no, son. I didn't come to take you home. You belong where you are. You're going to stay right there. So I left him and I turned my back. And I went outside and I told my husband, I'm glad you didn't come in because the condition of my son in the emergency room, I don't think you would be ready to see him. And I left him and I go home. When I got to the Jeep, I looked up towards the heaven and I said, God, I have prayed many years for my son. Today, I'm asking you for the last time. Either you fix him up or you take him home.
Amen.
Because I was prepared for him to go home because I knew he was saved. God chose not to take him home. But I could tell you now and proclaim the good news that my son is delivered from drugs. He's delivered from alcohol. He's delivered in his mind because he was mentally ill. The doctors say he had to take medicine for the rest of his life. And I'm telling you today that my son is totally and completely delivered. Totally and completely.